You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and today is the Thursday podcast. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. Also, make sure that you follow me over on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays. And go give hellocupcakeitsme.com some love. I'm going to start blogging a lot more as people are starting to move away from TikTok and some of those other things. Also, follow me on all of the social medias and check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com. So, how the hell is everyone? The last 24 hours have been hyper fucking emotional for me. And I have just been all over the place with my anger, with my sadness, with my stupidity, like not stupidity in like the dumb sense, but just stupidity in like the oh my god, that's so funny, it's stupid kind of emotion. Anyways, um so yeah, uh you ever just have those days where it feels like the entire weight of the world just collapses on you and you feel like you have put all these different support beams in place and you think you got everything figured out and then everything just kind of tumbles on you like a Jenga tower? Yeah, that's what it's been like for me. And um today was banking shit. Um as most of you know, I live on an extremely fixed budget. And so I always try to make sure that everything is well taken care of and plan things out 15 steps in advance, the whole 9 yards. And so I had a banking situation happen where the same charge hit several of my accounts. And I was like, no, it's not supposed to come out of any of these accounts. So, not even thinking about it, I clicked no every time that those notifications popped up on my phone. Well, in doing so, that automatically flags the fraud department and all this other stuff. So I felt like I was following a trail of breadcrumbs in a windy day and just trying to figure out where the fuck this transaction actually took place and how to undo whatever was being done and this, that, and the other thing. A long recipe, like blog recipe later, I finally find that it hit my PayPal account, and what was not, it took what it could from my PayPal account and then it hit my bank account and took the rest of the money from my bank account, which kind of fucked me over because I was saving that money in PayPal for a purchase that I need to make. So now I got to figure out how to finagle money around and get money from point A to point B to point G eventually. And it was just, it threw me into a panic. So much so that I had to leave my therapy mid-session, which pissed me off because I really look forward to my group therapy sessions. And we were getting into some really deep water. And just it kind of threw my whole day off, and all of that compounded with what happened on last Thursday, and then last Sunday, and then yesterday. It just was like too much. I honestly went into a full on meltdown. I was panicked. I was like, my watch was screaming at me that my cortisone levels were way too high, everything else going on. And after I finally got everything all said, done, and figured out, I barely had the strength to make it to my bedroom to like fall asleep. And it was like damn near the second my head hit the pillow, I passed out. And instead of being the productive person that I wanted to be today, I ended up sleeping 90% of the day away. So yay for me. But here we are. We're on the back end of that, and I am hoping that things are significantly better now. Um, so yeah. I don't know if I mentioned in the last uh podcast, but I had this testing done at the hospital called GeneScript. And what gene scripting does is it's a mouth swab. So you do one side of your mouth with one swab, and then you do the other side of your mouth with the other swab, and then they run tests on it. This one was for a psychological drug profile. So it was psychotropics and benzoids. And getting those results back validated me so fucking much, because over the years I have been discredited multiple times by my care team for not wanting to do one medication over another medication or whatever else. And you have this green column, yellow column, and red column. Green column is like what you would expect. Good, go, everything is golden. Like, these are the medications that you can take. Yellow column is you can take these medications, but there's going to be some adverse side effects. And red column is do not take these whatsoever. And looking back at all of the medications that were in the yellow and the red really validated me, because I had told my care team at that time. So we're rewinding all the way back to like 2009, 2010, like moving forward from 2009, 2010. Okay. So, I was on, we'll say, Wellbutrin and citrulline and Zoloft, and those were all in the yellow and red categories. And it makes sense, the reason I can't remember most of what was going on during that time period, because the like adverse effects, like the most negative effects of some of those were like brain fog and short-term amnesia, and just having problems with memory in general. And so I was taking medication, but I was unregulated because it just wasn't working for me. And then you have these doctors that are like, oh, no, it works for you. You just don't want to take it. You're just being stubborn. You're just being whatever. So, like, seeing it in writing, so fucking validating for me. You have no idea. And my new primary care physician wants to take me off of some of the medications that are in the green for me, because she doesn't like the way that those work in certain people. Meh. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you like, what is part of your quote unquote practice, what trauma you have around people who are on the type of medications I'm taking. These are the medications that work for me. These are the medications I know that have long-term lasting effects in my body. So we're going to stick with them. And so now that I have this and it's part of my medical records and all that other stuff, I'm going to just be like, look at what it says. This is what I'm sticking with. Like, because two of the medications that I'm on, the doctor broke HEPA and told me about another person and how it caused addiction for that person and all this other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just whoa. You are being highly fucking inappropriate right now by telling me any of this. And what happens with one person does not mean that's going to happen with the other person. And yeah, so she already has a red mark in my universe um for doing that to me. So my first actual appointment with her is August 16th, and so I am going to be talking with my other doctors that I've been working with for a long time and also see if I could get more testing done. I want to do like a food panel and I want to do an actual medication panel, one that isn't psychotropic. I want to look at like all the different medications that I could be on because um, like certain foods cause me to have gastral distress. So like if I drink cow's milk, sour cream, or cottage cheese, if I consume those, they make me really sick and cause like lactose intolerance. But if I eat ice cream or cheese or anything like, that, it doesn't affect me. Yogurt in moderate amounts is okay, but if I eat it in large amounts, like if I'm eating yogurt daily, it causes kidney stones. And so it's like, why does certain calcium products cause the kidney stones, cause me to have this type of reaction, but others don't? Is it because of the enzymes? Is it because of whatever? And also, that's something else I want to see if they could test is like my gut flora and fauna and what bacteria I am missing. And I also want to like just do like a full on panel, especially now that I am 45 years old and things are starting to change. I now have to schedule a colonoscopy, which sounds like so much fun. And all that other stuff, I don't have the same body that I had 25 years ago. And so, you know, just trying to figure things out. And you know, what are my cortisone levels? Because cortisone, if you are in a constant state of fight, flight, or fawn, you will end up having high cortisone levels, and cortisone traps food and nutrients and becomes fat. And that makes sense. I am constantly in a fight, flight, or fawn mode. I am constantly out of control with my bipolar or my whatever. My mental health is never really 100% stable at any one given time. Like right now, I feel perfectly fine, but that doesn't mean in 5 minutes from now I'm gonna have that same like, yay, we love the world. Um, but that creates fat in your body, and then being insulin resistant causes you to gain weight because fat cells absorb your insulin, and um, your body doesn't want to let go of fat. So you're creating more fat. And I just had a little bit of a heated discussion with somebody over this. They are the type of person that will do quote unquote research and then apply it to themselves instead of going to the doctors. Now, mind you, this person has medical and dental and everything, but they will not go to the doctor. Instead, they just like, oh, well, I have this going on, so therefore I have this going, or this is the cause of it. Oh, I'm having a panic attack, so that means that I have um white coat syndrome or whatever, and white coat syndrome is where you have a panic attack whenever you go to the doctors or whatever, or have any kind of like m- medical uh anxiety. And all of that took place when I was talking about my anxieties about going to the dentist because I have dental fear. um I have been injured at the dentist. I had to have a tooth removed, and when they did all of the work, they never gave me any antibiotics to go over the weekend, and I ended up getting lockjaw, and I wasn't able to get seen until like Thursday of that following week. So I went all of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and part of Thursday before I got seen again to get my jaw to open up, and I couldn't open. I was barely able to get a spoon into my mouth, and I was scared that like, what happens if I like have to throw up? I'm gonna have I'm not going to be able to get anything out of my mouth, and there's a good possibility that I'll asphyxiate and die from this. So, anyways, all of that to say that they have decided that my insulin resistance is not because of biological factors, it's because of my diet. I was like, okay, well, that's certainly not an opinion. Um, the reason that I am on the insulin that I'm on is to supersaturate my blood with insulin so that the dosage that I need for insulin eventually gets absorbed by the blood cells. And oh no, that's not a thing. That doesn't even happen like that. I'm like, since when do you have a medical PhD? You have a master's in education, but you don't have a PhD. You don't have an MD, like not a PhD, but yeah, you're not a doctor. Like, when did you get your doctorate in medical science and biomedicine? Like, please let me know. And I hate people who automatically assume that they know what being diabetic is all about. Like, no, your assumptions are wrong. People will be like, "Oh, you're a diabetic. Are you supposed to have a cupcake?" Yeah, bitch, I can have a fucking cupcake. The problem comes when I eat 17 of the son of a bitches. Like, I'm allowed to have cupcakes. I'm allowed to have a piece of cake. Now, are there people that are very rigid and stern with themselves when it comes to their sugar intake? Of course, and that works for them. I, on the other hand, am not rigid with myself. If I want a piece of cake, I'll have a piece of cake. What happens to me, though, is that my body does not produce the hormone, or at least I don't believe that my body produces the hormone that tells you that you are full. And the reason that I say I don't believe it is because I can eat a gargantuan amount of food and still feel hungry. Yet there are times where I eat a burger and I'm absolutely full. So I don't know what the disconnect is and what the correlation is between those things, but that's something that I have been fighting to try to figure out for the last 6 to 8 months. Just like, we've got to figure out what this means. Why do I have this like insatiable hunger all the fucking time. And then, even when I'm not hungry, I have what they call food noise, where you're constantly thinking, "Oh, I got that thing of cookies. I should go have a cookie. I should go have a cookie. I should have a cookie. I can have one or two cookies. That's fine. I can have one or two cookies. It's fine." Just constantly in the background of my head. And a lot of times, I just give in, and it's okay. Those two cookies now turned into 7 cookies, and those 7 cookies turned into 7 cookies and a bowl of cereal. And that 7 cookies and a bowl of cereal has turned into 7 cookies, a bowl of cereal, and a pint of ice cream. Those 7 cookies, bowl of cereal, pint of ice cream turns into 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. And then I'm finally full or satiated. When do I need any of that? No. Could I have 2 cookies, a scoop of ice cream, and 1 grilled cheese sandwich? Yes. And that would be acceptable. But my body doesn't work that way. And then, so anyways, I'm done harping on that. But just trying to figure out what's going on with my body, what's going on with my life, what's going on with everything. In the beginning of the podcast, I said that I was going to start blogging more because people are starting to move away from some of the social medias, and that is true. I have noticed a decline in some of the social media engagements that are taking place. And a girlfriend of mine who is very tech savvy, very on top of everything, she was the one that brought it up to me that she was going to start going back to blogging and possibly heading over to Substacks, because she has a Substack account and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I've heard of Substacks, but I thought Substacks was like part of part of Reddit, because I do have a Reddit account and all this other stuff, but I've never I use Reddit quite a bit, but I don't blog on Reddit like I probably should. So I'm gonna get back into blogging and just taking time to write out resources and stuff, and just using it like a diary like I used to. So um, there's 2 or 3 new entries on there if you haven't been there in a while. One entry today is titled "What the Actual Fuck," because I wrote it while I was in the midst of like my full on burn everything to the ground and take off running mode. So yeah. But anyways, that's what's going on in my universe as of right this moment. So I hope you are doing so much better, and that as we go into the weekend, um, I've been looking at the weather forecast for a lot of different areas, and it looks like we are going to be getting very warm over the next few days. So I hope that you are well hydrated, and that if you go out and enjoy any type of summer activities, that you are safe, and that you and your friends and your family and loved ones are safe and blessed and all of that. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Also, happy Pride Month to everyone who is part of the LGBTQIA community. You are welcomed here. This is a safe place. I am a safe person to talk with if you need to talk. Um, you are needed, and please don't do anything to take your light away from the world. If you don't feel like you are in a safe environment right now, please do everything you can to stay safe, stay in the closet, do whatever you got to do to keep moving forward, and don't let others take you away from the world. If your family is not supportive of who you are, once you're able to get away from them, you will make a family that is better than anything that you ever could have dreamed of. There is support there for you. The community is here for you. There are allies that are here for you. Keep pushing forward. In a world full of Karens, remember that it is better to be somebody who cares in the world, and that you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. And I will talk to everyone else later. Take care. Stay safe. Bye. Boop.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.